Be safe, William. Be strong. It was true. My wings were much better now, but I was still as weak and dithery as an old man. I let Meg lead me back indoors and sit near the fire, and I drank more of the disgusting brew. She giggled at the faces I pulled. Grandmam says the worse it tastes, the better it is for you, she told me. What is it? I don't know. She's going to teach me how arts one day, but I don't know how much yet. I know one, but it won't help me much. I know how to grind the bones of a mouse into a mixture of roses and honey. She smiled. It's for earache. Grandmam puts most of it secret. It's in her head. But she can make sick people better, and dying people live longer or die easily out of pain. And that set me thinking and thinking. I glanced round at the bunches of herbs and jars of potions that she kept on her shelves. When the grandmam came back again to take up her drop spindle, I blurted out my thoughts to her. Widow Susan, have you ever been to Newgate Prison? She glared at me and crossed herself quickly. What a question! I'm not a sinner, and if I was, I'm clever enough not to get caught. Newgate? It's death, that place. It's very death. It's worse than death. I shuddered. I mean, have you ever been inside it? She closed her eyes. I have. I had a brother there once, and that's why my heart goes out to you knowing your father is there. I went to visit my brother with my mother and father to plead for his life. We got nowhere with that idea. He was down in the pit they call limbo, bodies lying on top of bodies, filth like you've never seen, and a stench to make you empty your guts out. And the place crawling with lice and wriggling with rats. All we could hear down there was groans and screams, and it was so dark we never even found our John. If we had, how could we have helped him? So we prayed for him to die quick and leave his misery behind. Like we tug on the legs of our hanging friends. Die, die, we tell them. Death's better than life when you're in that state. Meg had come creeping in and was crouching next to me. I'm sure things would be better for your father than that, she said. He would have some money, wouldn't he? He could buy a little comfort. You won't be in limbo, Widow Susan agreed. That's for petty felons, whether they're guilty or not. I want to see him, I said. Will you take me there and help me to find him? And if he's sick or weak, as he will be, make no mistake about that. I took a deep breath. Then I want you to give him some of your potions to make him strong again. And be taken for a witch and thrown on the fire? She shrieked. Do you think I'm mad? But it's going to take me so long to help him. You must give him something to keep him alive till I get back. She leered her toothless face for me. Keep him alive to suffer torture? Keep him strong enough to step on the hangman's trap? Is that what you want? Please. Her chanting stopped, her rhythmic spinning stopped, her eyes gleamed. You know so much, I whispered. You're so clever. Can you do it, please? Her grin turned from mockery to mystery, and at last she nodded. I'll do it. Meg, you'll have to help. She sent Meg running for water to boil and herbs to crush, peppermint and lavender, horseradish and others I'd never heard of. And all day they were grinding and boiling and muttering, and strange smells rising and billows of steam like sails unfurling. I began to think she truly was a witch after all, and that her mumblings were spells and curses. And I was frightened because of what I'd asked her to do. But there was no stopping her now, no hushing the croaking of her singing. Behind the straw dragon's head that Nick had made leering at me out of the shadows, black smoke leaking out of its empty eye sockets. The fire sputtered and hissed under the boiling cauldron. At last it was done. She poured potions into little bottles, and Meg wrapped them in leaves one by one and placed them in a rush basket, along with 2 stoppered jugs of Grandma Susan's ale. Then Widow Susan pulled on her cloak and handed one to me. It was of brown wool, and she had made it for me herself, she said, while I was ill. It was for my journey to France. It's a long walk to Newgate for someone in your state, she said, so we'll go slowly, but you'll have to come with me to point him out to me. I'll warn you, boy, you won't be a pretty sight to see. Don't speak to him. Don't cry out or grieve, or say anything out loud to show that he's your father and you're his son, because if you do, they'll chain you up alongside of him, and you'll never get out of there till you're on the hangman's cart. Do you understand me? I nodded. Fear rose up in me again, blinding my eyes. Meg held out a little circle of twisted cord and slipped it over my hand onto my wrist. I've made you an amulet to guard you against evil. Be safe, William, she whispered, shy now. Be Be strong.